Well, former Yellow Wiggle Greg Page is back on his feet. We are delighted and relieved to say after that terrifying health scare at that bushfire relief concert last month.
Greg went into cardiac arrest on stage and it took 3 shocks from a defibrillator to save his life. Now, he's calling on more venues to have the devices installed.
We thought he was having a fit. He was shaking a lot. One of the women who works in our office said he's not breathing. Roll him on his back.
Did a little bit of CPR and then someone handed me the defibrillator. I got someone else to take over doing CPR and I attached the defibrillator to him and then we shocked him.
It's only through her efforts and the other people doing CPR that Greg's alive.
It is frightening to see a friend really in a bad way like that. Just glad guys could bring him back.
I think it's fair to say the nation held its breath there for a while, but it's a great relief, and it's terrific to say Greg Page and Matt Andrews from Australian Hearts join us in the studio. Thank you for coming in, gentlemen. Greg, it's great to see you, man.
Really great to see you.
Yeah, it's great to be here. I really feel that. It's amazing.
How does it feel watching that vision?
Oh, look, it's pretty tough because I know what happened after that. I mean, I'm not aware of it, but I know what happened. I've heard the stories and I know how close I came to dying that night. And, you know, but for the grace of God and the fact that, you know, there were people there that knew CPR and there was a defibrillator at the club, I'm lucky enough to be here.
Greg, you look like you were sort of tearing it up on stage, having a great show. What do you remember about the actual show and then the moment that you fell to the floor? Do you remember the show?
No, not really. I remember a couple of things, but it's one of those funny things. I think it's called trauma amnesia, where you forget the horrible event that took place, and so I don't remember much about the show at all.
Do you remember the commotion around you when people were assisting you, or you don't remember any of that?
I don't. Look, I think I remember going to get my drink at the end of the show. I kind of bent down to get the drink, and I think I vaguely remember that, and then I basically passed out.
The guys were understandably pretty emotional. I mean, Anthony was lost it there, but they did come back for the second show. I guess you were sort of out of the woods by then. What did that mean to you, seeing multiple Yellow Wiggles on stage there?
It was great. I mean, look, of course I was disappointed I couldn't do the show myself, but for obvious reasons.
At least you're alive.
Thank God, that's right. But look, I love doing the show, and you know, the fact that so many people bought tickets to support those causes, that show had to go on. So I'm glad they did it. I know that they were pretty cut up about what happened the night before because we've been together a long time as mates, and for them to see me on the floor there, so close to not having me around anymore, you can see the upset in their reactions, and you know so many people from all over the world have reached out to me to let me know how much they were praying for me, and that means so much to me and my family.
Matt, let's talk about this little wonderful machine that just happened to be there. It's not everywhere. I'm tipping that you're going to say it should be. The defib. It's a marvellous machine.
It really is the difference between Greg, us doing a review of Greg's life and him being here now. The defibrillator meant that somebody who wants to do the right thing is equipped to make the difference, You can keep Greg's heart going, keep the blood moving, keeping the organs alive, but until that heart learns to pump for itself, there's no way that Greg's life can go on. So we need to find a way that when a heart is fibrillating, it's in spasm, to reset it and get it going again. Took 3 times for you, mate, didn't it?
Yeah, 3 shocks and then got the heart back into a more normal rhythm. It was still all over the place, but it was actually pumping blood itself, which was great.
These machines, they don't cost that much.
Couple of grand.
Why doesn't everywhere have them?
It was a management decision that Castle Hill RSL made 16 years ago.
God bless them.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
But it can't just be a random thing that some clubs do have them, some don't.
It's got to be uniform, yeah. We need more people to have these
They
machines.
should be everywhere. I mean, it's a no-brainer, but we've got to learn how to use these things as well.
They're surprisingly not that hard, I understand. Is that right?
I believe that Richard could use one. Yeah.
We should, I feel.
They're very simple. They go through I've had a lesson. They go through the instructions. They tell you exactly
They
what
actually
to do.
tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah. And you're advocating that everyone learns CPR.
Look, I'm a stat. I am 1 in 10 that survive an out-of-hospital sudden cardiac arrest. It's only 1 in 10 that survive. So there are 9 out of 10 that don't survive it. If these defibrillators are more available in businesses, in public places, shopping centres, more people will survive. There'll be more families that have their loved ones around, and that's just so important. We've got to change that.
Do we have one here?
Ask your boss.
I don't know.
Ask your boss.
You-
Everybody,
but
please.
that's another fact. You should know
You should
where
know.
the places. I think Westpac banks have
Yep.
them. There's a few places that do, but I didn't know that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Coles, Woolworths, Bunnings.
Every
Office
Bunnings
Works.
has one. Every Officeworks has one.
But I didn't know that.
No,
But
people don't know.
we called a bunch of Maccas last year.
Yeah.
I actually know that some of them have them.
Right.
And I asked them, do you know where your defib is?
Yeah.
And they didn't know.
No.
I've got to ask you, having been a friend and a fan for many years, I remember when you left the group the first time, you had a condition then. Did this have anything to do with that?
No, it's
unrelated.
nothing to do with it. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, yeah, but look, one message to also take away from this: people look at me, and I looked at myself and thought I was fit and healthy. I was working out at the gym, walking every day.
look amazing.
I was playing cricket. I wasn't overweight, and it can still happen. That's sudden cardiac arrest. There's no warning signs. There's no pre-existing symptoms. So it can happen. That's why defibs are so important.
Greg,
because,
just one final question I want to ask you. When you have an experience like this, have you dramatically, I mean, I know you have a great outlook on life, but have you dramatically changed the way, what you want to do, what you want to say to people,
Yeah.
how you live your life?
Yeah, look, I've learnt now, well, not learnt, I've always known, you've got to appreciate every day, but you've got to make a difference. And that's why a month after my sudden cardiac arrest, I'm out here advocating for this, because too many people are dying every day from sudden cardiac arrest, and that doesn't have to happen. We can make this change sooner rather than later.
And we want what you've just mentioned, Richard. We want businesses to take responsibility. If you are a retailer or you are a bank, if you're serious about the community, show it,
Well, I think they will. I think you are making a difference. You're a great bloke. Everybody loves you, and you came so close. It's a lesson for all of us. I hope the wiggle effect,
The wiggle effect, I like it.
the yellow wiggle effect. I hope it impacts on a lot of businesses and a lot of people. Thank you both so much.
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thanks,
Thank
Richard.
you.
Thank
Thank
Love you, mate. All the
Thanks,
best.
mate. Appreciate
We do.
it.